People are often surprised to find out that most of my work is digital. Since I started putting my artwork out there in front of people again a few years ago, I've gotten some good praise, and people sometimes ask me how I'm able to achieve this look. The big secret was to simplify things so I could refine them. I've been known to overcomplicate things, so I decided to go back to basics. I remember drawing with charcoal in high school. We'd start off with white paper, then use a soft charcoal over the whole thing to make it gray. Then we'd draw and shade using a more firm charcoal that was darker. And the good thing about having the gray background was that you could erase areas and expose the white paper in spots that were supposed to be brighter. Some charcoal artists will start with a gray piece of paper and use a white pencil for those bright spots. And this is more in line with what I do. So for digital work, I'll start by picking my midtone and making this my background. Then I pick a darker, usually a more saturated, version of that same color. This will be for sketching and doing shadows. Lastly, I'll pick a brighter, almost white version of the same color and use that for my highlights. And this is my entire palette. Second thing is that I only use 2 layers. I do all my sketching and painting on the same layer. Only the background is separate. I did this as a way to condition myself to commit to some of the quote mistakes I make. There's sometimes stigma around over-reliance on using undo for digital artists. And for me, having everything separated by layers can sometimes be a similar crutch. Next up is brushes. The key is to keep it simple. I just use a couple of default brushes in Photoshop. These, along with their settings, might be different if you use another program, but the idea should be the same. I use a 30% opacity with a small round brush for sketching, and I use this brush with opacities usually ranging between 5 and 30% to paint in shadows and highlights, aka the whole painting part. And this brings me to the last thing, which I think is key. I do very little blending. Instead, I build things up as they go, leaving most of the strokes visible. I think that this is why people don't notice that it's digital. That lack of cleanliness, being able to see the work that went into it in the final product. These are things that happen naturally when you work on paper or canvas. This is why it's hard for people to tell. I work the same way on a computer as I would on a canvas. And I think the results speak for themselves.